guys. Thanks so much for having us today. We're here to talk to you about the future of wealth. But before we get started, I actually have a question for you guys. Let's say I was able to save up $1,000 over this past year, and I decided to put it in a bank account, into a savings account. What do you think that that money, that $1,000, would grow to 10 years from now? Just don't be shy. Yell out your answers. Any guesses?
Well, before we tell the answer, let's first take a look at what inflation's going to do to your money over the next 10 years. So in 2026, you're going to need about $1,100 to buy what you can buy today with $1,000. That's a pretty big difference, right? It's about 10%. Now, here's your money in a savings account. And honestly, I mean, this return is just not that great. You're going to be getting about $1.
Broken?
Right?
That's a flat line, John.
Absolutely. So after 10 years, saving up all that money and keeping it in a savings account, you're going to receive $1. And, to be honest, we just don't think that's the best for growing your wealth. And so, if you're maybe young like us and you just started putting a couple bucks away every paycheck, and now you want to see your wealth really grow, what do you turn to? And so for a lot of individuals, that's a brokerage account. We took a look at the different brokerage options that are out there right now, and we really felt that there weren't anything appropriate for new investors like us who wanted to, little by little, see that wealth grow. And so we went and we built the first ever investment platform for anyone.
Now, John, whoa, that seems like a big claim here. The first investment platform for anyone. How can that be? There have been plenty of big brokers around for a while. I think the key word we need to point out here is anyone, right? So if we take a look at these big brokers that have been around, and we look back at my example, where I was able to save $1,000 over the course of a year. Maybe any given month I was able to, let's say, put $100 aside for my paycheck, and if I wanted to open up that brokerage account, I walked into any of these brokerage firms, they'd laugh at me. My money's no good there. They have these high minimums that can range anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000. I'm just not that important to these guys.
Yeah, unfortunately not. And if you look at these cool new brokers that maybe are online only and they've just put an app in the App Store, they've done a really great job at getting new individuals interested in the stock market, and they've removed a lot of the barriers like these high minimums or these high costs. But if you actually take a look at the act of investing, it's really stayed the same for, decades. The actual act of putting money into the companies that you want to invest in has just remained the same. And so we looked at that and we decided that needed a change. So let's take a look at some very common brands that are traded on the stock market, like Amazon, Google, and Priceline. And these are all pretty big companies that a lot of individuals would like to make an investment in. Now, these companies have high share prices. So if you have an Android phone and you really want to invest in Google because you think they're going to perform well over the next couple of years, you have to reach this sort of arbitrary minimum of $700 just to get started investing in that company. And so what a lot of novice investors do is they'll take a look at companies with much lower share prices, companies that trade at pennies a share or a couple bucks a share. And these aren't bad companies, they're not inferior investments, but because a lot of individuals can't afford that $700 price, they'll just kind of pick names out of a hat that they can afford.
Right, that doesn't seem like an investment strategy. And $700 for a share, I was talking about how I saved up $1,000 for the year, right? That seems a little...
Right, that price is very, very high for someone who's maybe just putting a couple bucks aside every paycheck. And so the future of wealth is when I could take a look back at these companies and say, you know what, I don't care about what they trade at. All I care about is I want to make an investment in Google, and I want that investment to be $50. And that's it. That's dollar-based investing, and that's what DriveWealth has built its entire company around.
John, let's talk about something that we all understand here, and that's pizza, right? So don't you guys just hate when you walk into those pizza places that only serve by the pie? What's going on here, guys? I have $5 in my pocket. I just want a slice. What's the deal? So DriveWealth is that really good friend that actually goes out and buys the whole pie and just gives you your slice. It's just that easy, right? And if we take a look at it, an example running through the app, if we can get that on there, great. So you literally just put the dollar amount in. The app will tell you how many shares you're receiving, and it's literally as easy as pie.
Another big concept that's very important for new investors is diversification. And this is a very expensive process for many people who's investing in the stock market. And dollar-based investing just kind of changes how you look at diversifying your funds across the stock market. So if we take that $100 example, let's say you really love Apple and you want to make an investment in Apple. Well, with that $100, you go out and you buy one share because that's all you can afford. And now you sort of have this $4 in cash sitting in your brokerage account that you can't really do much with. Now, this is an example of a very poorly diversified portfolio because if something happens to Apple, let's say they don't beat earnings reports or they have a big product recall, now your money's at risk.
Yeah, and guys, I'm sorry, John, but you know what they say, guys, don't put all of your apples in one basket. I mean, this is a prime example of that.
Right. But with dollar-based investing, you could spread that $100 across as many or as few companies as you'd like. And if you start to feel a little bit uneasy about a certain investment, well, you could just sell it and purchase something else as well. It doesn't matter what they trade at.
Right. And again, it's just that easy in our app. So as John showed there, you can add companies to your basket, just like a shopping cart. You choose the dollar amount that you'd like to invest. So again, let's say we want to invest $100. The app will evenly allocate that $100 across those 4 stocks, for example. You check out. It's that simple.
This is the future of wealth. Being able to say, I have this list of brands that I love and I want to make an investment in, and not having to worry about what they trade at.
Yeah, guys. So thanks again so much for coming out here today. If you have any questions, please feel free to. Please feel free to stop by our booth. We're literally dishing out slices of Google stock. And a special note from our compliance department, please visit DriveWealth.com to read all of the lovely disclaimers. Thank you, and hope to see you guys around.
Thanks.